Beneath a quiet field north of Tokyo, there is a cathedral, 59 pillars, 500 tons each, holding up a ceiling of darkness. No one prays here. This place was built for water. When the storms come and 37 million people sleep, this chamber wakes and swallows a flood whole. It is the largest structure of its kind on Earth, and most people will never know it exists. We are taught that Tokyo, a city built on a floodplain, should drown. It doesn't. But the reason why is stranger than the myth. Because this cathedral isn't protecting the city you're picturing. To understand what it really does, you have to go 50 meters down. This is the Metropolitan area outer underground discharge channel. The Japanese call it the underground temple. The story you usually hear is simple. Tokyo floods, so Japan built a giant tunnel to save it. But that's not quite true. Look at the map. The heart of this system sits here, not under the skyscrapers of central Tokyo, but northeast of them, in a low, flat basin where the Nakagawa and Ayase rivers wander. This land has a problem older than the city. It sits like the bottom of a bowl, ringed by three great rivers, the Tone, the Edo, and the Ara. When it rains, water pours in from every side and has nowhere to go. The rivers here barely tilt toward the sea, so the water sits and drains slowly, for days. Then Japan paved it, roads and rooftops where soil used to drink the rain. Now the water doesn't sink in, it runs straight for rivers that are already full. Water that once took days to soak away now arrives in minutes, all at once, with nowhere lower to fall. For generations, this basin drowned, again and again. And the rivers that flooded it weren't the famous ones, they were smaller channels, the Nakagawa and the Ayase, quietly overflowing into people's homes. So the question was never how to hold the water back. It was quieter and harder. How do you pull the water out of a place that cannot drain? The answer begins not with a pump, but with a wall built slightly too low on purpose. Along these small rivers stand overflow weirs. As long as the water stays calm, nothing happens. But when a river swells past its limit, it spills over the top and disappears. It falls into this, a shaft. 5 of them guard the system, each dropping some 70 meters straight down, deep enough to drop a 20-story building into. At the bottom, the water enters a tunnel, 6.3 kilometers of it, carved 50 meters beneath the suburbs, wide enough to drive a truck through. The flood now runs underground, unseen, beneath houses and train lines and sleeping streets. 50 meters down is deeper than a 10-story building is tall, an entire river, rerouted through the dark, and no one above feels a thing. And then the tunnel opens into the temple. 177 meters long, 78 wide, a ceiling 18 meters high held up by those 59 pillars, stand at one end and the far wall dissolves into darkness, a hall longer than a city block, sunk beneath a quiet suburb. Above your head, a city plays soccer on a field built on its roof, never knowing what lies beneath. But here is the detail almost everyone misses. Those pillars aren't there for beauty. They are there because of a force pushing the wrong way. This chamber is buried in ground soaked with water, and a hollow box, sunk into wet earth, wants to do one thing: float. The groundwater beneath it pushes up hard enough to lift the entire structure out of the ground. So the engineers turned the temple into an anchor. Each pillar, 7 meters deep, 2 wide, 500 tons, isn't just holding the ceiling up. Together with the concrete and sand piled above, they pin the whole chamber down, against the water trying to raise it. The cathedral isn't standing on the earth, it's fighting to stay in it. A flood can pour into this chamber faster than any river could carry it away. So the water waits here, while something extraordinary spins up on the far wall. This is the heart of the machine, 4 pumps, and to drive them, the engineers reached for an unlikely engine. A gas turbine, the same kind that powers aircraft, remade to move water instead of air. 14,000 horsepower each. Together, these pumps can throw 200 tons of water every second up and out into the Edo River. It lifts the water as high as a 4-story building, the most powerful drainage of its kind in the country. Picture a 25-meter swimming pool. Now empty it completely in a single second, again and again. Nearby, in a room lined with monitors, the operators watch. They call this room the brain and the pumps the heart. They track every gauge, every river, every millimeter of rising water, and decide the exact moment to wake the machine. Too early and the effort is wasted. Too late and the basin floods. The whole system waits on that one human judgment. And most of the time, it sleeps. On average, the temple stirs only about 7 times a year. Since it opened, it has been called on more than 140 times, and still, it can stand silent for weeks, a cathedral in the dark, waiting. Then a typhoon arrives. In September 2015, 2 storms struck at once, and the system moved more water than it ever had. In a single stretch, it drained the equivalent of about 15 Tokyo domes. The city above never saw it happen. It woke, checked the news, and went to work on ground that, a few hours earlier, the machine had quietly saved. So does this really keep Tokyo from flooding? Not the way the story is usually told. This machine was never built to shield the neon towers of the center. It was built for that low, forgotten basin, for the Nakagawa and the Ayase, and the towns that had drowned there for centuries. It took 13 years to build, from 1993 to 2006, and parts of it were switched on early in 2002 because the basin could not wait. And by that honest measure, it is a quiet triumph. In the years after it opened, the flooded homes and the flooded land in this basin fell to roughly 1/3 of what they had been. That is the real genius here, and it is a very Japanese kind of genius. Not a wall you can see, not a monument to hold back the sea, but an invisible organ, buried out of sight, that removes a problem so completely that the people it protects forget the problem ever existed. No crowds gather above it. No skyline remembers it. It succeeds by erasing the very disaster that would have made it famous. The measure of this system isn't how much it impresses you. It's how little you were ever meant to notice it. A cathedral built for no one to see, doing its work, in the dark, beneath a soccer field. Japan is full of machines like this. Systems so precise, so patient, they vanish into ordinary life. On KARAKURI, we take them apart one at a time. If you'd like to see the next one, subscribe. The anatomy continues. Somewhere beneath your own city, something quiet may be holding the water back and waiting.